All right, guys, let's talk about it. The Mustang RTR is here. We haven't seen a Mustang RTR in a long time. So this is a really exciting thing to see from both the RTR side and the Mustang side. So let's talk about what is it gonna be, what do we got under the hood, what do we got as far as suspension, handling, all that stuff. But let me start by opening the hood first. All right, so under the hood, what we're looking at is the EcoBoost 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's gonna be making 315 horsepower from the factory, but you can get a tune from Ford so that it makes 350 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. So 35 more horsepower, 50 more pound-feet of torque, if you're keeping track of the numbers. But what's improved or what's new on this that we haven't seen before is anti-lag built in. So when they're working with Von Gittin Jr. on this, that was a big thing he wanted, and this engine has anti-lag. So it'll keep the turbo spinning, keep the power delivery smooth, and they're really pitching this as like a fun to drive car that you can drift and have fun sideways. So we'll see some other things they did to improve that aspect of it. But real quickly, I want to talk about the styling, because if you take a step back, you'll notice the front bumper is actually similar to the Mustang GT, but with the light up nostrils. I'm gonna turn them on real quick. So as you can see, they look really cool when they're lit up. I'm sure they look even cooler at night. And if you take a closer look at this one specifically, this is actually an inlet to feed air into your intake. So actually, if you take a look over the hood, you'll see that inlet's right there and your ducting is right here. So it goes straight into your engine. It's a nice touch. I mean, we've seen it on like, you know, the Hellcats back in the day, but it's cool that they made that a functional element on this side specifically. Another thing they wanted me to point out is the fact that this has the same strut top mounts as the Dark Horse. So you can actually do camber adjustments on here to help you with drifting if that's something you want to adjust when you're taking this thing sideways. But let's actually just close the hood and talk a little bit about the wheel, tire setup, as well as the just the overall suspension, the changes they made to it. So first you're gonna notice here is it's a 19-inch wheel by 9.5. So it's a wider wheel, has a 30mm more aggressive offset, so it pokes out a little. It doesn't poke out, but it sticks out more than a regular EcoBoost Mustang. The wheel looks really cool. I like the color of it, but this has the Hyper Lime brake caliper paint, but it's also the higher performance brake setup that you can get on the GT. So they measure 6-piston calipers with 50.3-inch rotors up front and 4 pistons in the rear. You can get other colors, but the Hyper Lime is exclusive to the RTR version of this Mustang. And if you come along the side here, you'll see the RTR badging here, ready to rock. You know that. If you don't, now you know. But let me show you some unique decals they have on the hood right here. And then if you come along the side, you'll see some additional decals down there and then up here on the fenders. But I do want to talk about the rear suspension really quickly, because they gave this the rear sway bars and the subframe from the Dark Horse. So they actually just pull those parts, put on here to really improve the handling, stiffen things up, make things feel a little tighter, and it's easier to control, which is pretty cool. Let's come along the back here real quick and talk about the spoiler you get from the GT Performance Pack. They now brought it onto this vehicle. Looks cool. It's got the same finish and same color as you'll see on other accents in the car. More specifically, actually the Mustang badge, which is right here. They call it like a tarnished anodized. I might not be saying it right, but looks cool. It's nice and menacing. Contrasts the paint really nicely. And this has a quad tipped exhaust. If you want to hear how it sounds, we'll play a clip for that right now. One thing I didn't mention under the hood is this has the upgraded 600-watt cooling fan from the Mustang GT, so it just keeps the powertrain components a little more cooler. It's nice that they didn't just think of adding more power, but they also supplemented that with some additional cooling to handle that performance bandwidth. So just want to point that out. Another thing I want to point out is the stability control updates they made. They actually allow for more yaw or more drift angle at slower speeds on the calibration compared to the standard Mustang, which is pretty cool. They went to that level of detail on this collaboration between RTR and Mustang. I really appreciate that. And then, I mean, as you can see so far, they did a lot from a hardware perspective to make this basically the most powerful, most highest performance EcoBoost Mustang you can get. So kind of before getting the engine on the V8, the GT or Dark Horse, this is basically all the performance updates or performance enhancements you want on a Mustang, which is pretty cool. But let's hop inside and see what you get in the RTR. All right, so I wanted to put you guys in the driver's seat first because this is focused on the driver. And I want to start with the steering wheel here. It looks really cool. You see that Hyperlime stitching right here. It's a nice touch, but there's some hardware behind this steering wheel, specifically the steering rack. They gave it 72mm of additional rack travel. So that'll just help you go sideways more easily. You get more rack travel, you have more steering angle input. which is pretty nice. I think that's cool. Now, only in automatic, so you see the paddle shifters over here, the 10-speed, I mean, we've seen it before, no manual. That would be cool. But what they did, I guess, that is unique to this is the drift brake. You actually get it in that Hyper Lime, which is nice. And it's the same thing you can get on the GT and the Dark Horse. They did offer this in the past on a Performance Pack EcoBoost, but today, new for 2026, I believe, the model this is gonna be coming out in, this is the only way to get a drift brake on an EcoBoost Mustang. So that pairing is unique to this setup, which I understand. I think it makes sense, but it's a nice touch. I love how this thing looks here. Really cool. It's getting mad at me because I'm pulling it and I'm not drifting or anything. But another thing that's cool is when you start it up, and I'll overlay a shot, is the startup animations. You see RTR on the center gauge cluster and then a drifting Mustang here that goes out into kind of the darkness with some smoke coming out of it. That's pretty nice. Well, let's talk about these seats, guys. You have two options. These black leather seats with the Hyperline stitching, as well as the obvious, I mean, I should have pointed them out sooner, the Hyperline seat belts, which is really cool. I think they pop, definitely match the accents around the vehicle. But you can get a more low-key version. You can get Recaro bucket seats, which don't have the Hyperline stitching. So there's options. What do you want? Something that pops like this, or something that's a little more subtle? Just depends on your style. But let's hop on the passenger side and see what other nice touches they did to this vehicle. Okay, so as a passenger or just as a driver, once you hop inside, the other thing you're gonna notice is the Mustang RTR door sill. This one is backlit in that Hyperlime color. You can customize it like ambient lighting on any other Mustang. They set it up to have that green accent, which is nice. And you'll see that at night. It'll look really cool. But unique to this is the Mustang RTR badge. T is gonna be a designator for all RTR Mustangs. And then this is just a unique identifier for whatever vehicle you have. So that's cool. It's a nice touch. You still get that carbon, the faux carbon fiber on the dash. It's not real. But it does look nice. And then again, as far as the tech goes, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you can connect your phone to it, all that good stuff. And then you also have right here the your Mustang menu, your engine start button right there, and all that good stuff. Again, automatic transmission, only one. I wish they made this in a manual. But I mean, being inside the cabin, guys, you definitely feel like it's a little bit special here. I mean, I see like the ambient lighting on the the footwell reflecting off of my shoes. It's a cool touch. It's unique. It definitely stands out. But I want to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think this is enough to justify an EcoBoost Mustang, or just get the V8 and just, put the fries in the bag? You let me know. I'm curious. So let me know what you guys think, guys. Is this something that you guys are excited about? Do you guys want a Mustang that it's more ready to drift from the factory? I don't have pricing yet on this, unfortunately. We'll get that closer to this release date when it actually launches and goes on sale. I'm expecting high 30s, maybe like low 40s is my guess. But again, we don't know. But again, did I expect to see an RTR Mustang that is a bunch of stuff that you can actually take advantage of when having fun going sideways instead of either on the track or on the street? No, I didn't. I think this is really cool. Excited to see what else they come up with. Maybe they have this translate over to a GT with a V8 or a Dark Horse, but has an RTR pack on it. So you get that angle, because I mean, they're doing these adjustments intentionally. They're not accidentally putting this just on here. I think it's a sign of a partnership that's going to grow from the factory, because this is the one you can get from the dealership with that factory back warranty, with that tune on it, and all that hardware support. So again, if you guys enjoyed the video, smash that like button. If you have any questions about the vehicle, drop them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.